Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while for me, certainly, not for you guys obviously, because as I've been posting regular videos, as regular as I can anyway. But yeah, we're in late July, basically August in the next couple of days, and I'm heading down to Long Island Lake for a little day session. I fished there before over the years, here and there, the odd session growing up and that, even as a kid, and the stock's changed throughout, so I don't know what we're going to get down there. They've had a couple of fish kills, some of the big ones have survived, some of them have died, they've put new stocks in, but there is some small fish in there. There are still some big fish in there, including one or two 30s, but there's a lot of mouths to get through. There's a lot of bream in there, tench, crucian carp, goldfish, you name it, it's in there. Who knows what we're going to get today, right mixed bag, but I'm taking the light rods and I can't wait. I haven't been fishing for 2 months, since the end of May. And yeah, since the fish spawned. I don't fish June and July, I just let the fish recover. They're all underweight, they're all just going about their business, and I just leave them to it. And then I pick back up in August, and I fish hard from August, September, October and November, and who knows, we may even head back to France in December. So yeah, really looking forward to it. This is the start of my new trips, and I'm buzzing. The van's loaded, I've been sorting out all the gear, all the bait, etc, etc. The 2 months off's been nice. I've been on holiday with the family and that, but now it's time to get back to business and get some big girls on the bank. So basically today is just about getting out there, gathering all my gear, making sure I've got everything there, and hopefully we should be back out on the bank at a big fish water next week for a couple of nights. And yeah, so until we get to Long Island Lake, I'll leave it there, and we'll have a look about when we get there. Catch you in a bit. Well, look at that, we finally arrived. It's 7:15 in the morning, and look at this fizzing. I'm just going to creep up to this. This is Long Island Lake. Look at that, let me get a zoom in on that. They're carp, of course, there, and dead centre camera there. It's currently not where we're fishing. I've seen this fizzing up. I might just come back with a rod and have a bit of fun on here for half an hour. So yeah, not really knowing what to expect out of here. Hopefully we'll get something nice, but you know what, I'm back on the bank. I've got the light gear with me, the light carp rods, so it's a bit of a camper park sort of thing. People camp over here and fish out their caravans. It's a real beautiful place. Look, the grass is cut like a bowling pitch, and it's quite a big lake, but it looks small, if you know what I mean, but it's got some certainly got some water in. But this is not where I'm fishing, but look how beautiful it is. Let me zoom out. You've got rushes, lilies, everything. And the water's got some depth in here. It goes down to 8 foot in places. I'm going to walk you up here. So this time of year, obviously, we're in summer, so there's a lot of caravans on here, but they just stick to their side. They don't fish where I am. It's obviously called Long Island Lake because if you look where I'm walking. What a stunning little lake though. I fished here on and off since I was a little kid, maybe 7 or 8 years old. So it's a mature old lake. But like I say, they've had new stocks of fish come through, and old stocks. You can see fizzing up everywhere. The carp are on it. It's bang on bite time. But we've got a bit of better weather today. It's a bit cooler. Maybe a little bit of drizzle of rain this afternoon. So this is like the Long Island that they call it. I'm just going to walk you down here because it really is a beautiful little place. Look at all the lily flowers coming through there, bright pink, opening up for today. Lovely. Yeah, so it goes right up here, and then my island finishes where I'm standing. It goes all around the back of these reeds, and it goes behind all these reeds too as well. All round there, up onto that pontoon there, and that's just where our mate, he launches the boat or whatnot if he needs to de-weed it. Round here, and I'm going to walk you along to where I'm fishing, and I've got a beautiful little spot, one of my favourite spots that I used to fish growing up. and yeah, we'll get round there now and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, this is the side of the lake I've decided to fish. This is the back end of the lake, totally different side to what I just showed you down the middle of the island there. This is the back sector. It's all joined and that, it's like a big snake, it goes round and that. I've always done well out of here. I've always had some of the bigger fish out the back here. Got all the reeds over there and that. There's like a little small bar that runs through where the reeds and lilies are over there. And also in that corner there's always a few big ones hanging around over there. So hopefully a few of the old big ones are still about. I hear one or two are. So I can see a big plume of bubbles coming up out there actually. So yeah, feeling hopeful. It's a beautiful little lake. Like I say, not sure how today's going to go, but we're here, we're getting off the mark and getting a bit of confidence behind us. So here's my mate. Just brought him down. He's going to stick a little rod out for the carp. He's not an experienced carp angler, but he loves his fishing. He's one of my oldest friends, and we've been fishing together back on the floats and back in my match days for years. And he loves just getting the float rod out and catching small carp. Like I said, there's tension here, bream, crucian carp, goldfish. You don't know what you're going to get. He's buzzing. He ain't been for a couple of months. He's also going to stick a rod out for the carp because he has never had a 20-pound carp. We can try and get you 20-pound carp today, boy, ain't we? Good lad. So I'm buzzing to have a bit of company on the bank. It's nice to be with your pals, isn't it? And what a beautiful lake to do it on. We've got perfect weather. And yeah, buzzing. So enough rambling from me. I'm going to get these rods set and we'll have a look at the bait when I do. See you soon. Right, so after baiting that little side spot earlier, I'm back in the main area now. I'm just going to drop a bit of bait in while I'm here, and I've got gooey hands. I thought I'd show you. Did show you earlier. Little dumbbells. They'll be out reasonably soon. We've now got the machines to make them properly. And these are glugged. These have been glugging for 2 days, and they absolutely stink. And it's real fishy and pungent smell. So like I say, I'm not going to fish no particles. This is probably a first for me, probably in my whole series on my channel at all. I usually fish particle and pellet because I want to draw the fish down and get them to start eating the boilie. And on tricky day ticket waters, where the fish are a lot of the time pressured, it's hard to get them to dip down on boilies at certain times of the day, especially if you're on shorter sessions. They have small feeding times. But here, it's a little bit easier than your average lake, I'd like to think, hopefully. So I'm just going to go boilies. I'm going to try it out. I've got glugged enzyme dumbbells here, and I'm just giving the old glug and the dumbbells a try. I'm going to try and pick the bigger fish out, because there's a lot of nuisance fish in here. So I'm just going boilies all the way. I might spray a few tiger nuts out. No corn, no particle, no pellet, no nothing. And we're going to just see just how well the enzyme can fish out today. Right, I'm going to deliver this little bit of bait now and get the trap set. See you soon. Right, got both the traps set, finally after half an hour. Here's my first carp of the day. Been here about an hour and a half at the minute. It took me a while to sort the rods out because I ain't been for a while to actually set the rods up from scratch. And there's the first fish. Quite a nice one actually. Nice common carp, haven't weighed it. I'm guessing, about 8 pounds or so. But still, it's nice to get off the mark. First bite I've had in over 2 months. So loving it. Good to be back on the bank. But I've got to go. Well, sorry about the abrupt finish there. I had to quickly slip that one back. My other rod was going. So like I say, I said I had no idea what I was going to catch from here. And I've caught the ugliest carp I've ever seen in my life, I think. Look at that, right old deformed character. He's only a little baby, to be fair, mate, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? There is meant to be a 35 in here, according to the bailiff guy. So, fingers crossed. Look, he's got a real flat tail. It's a real bizarre creature. Must be a bit inbred, this one. But I wouldn't have shown it because it's only a small one. The beans I had the camera still on, and I had to quickly slip that one back. I thought I'd show you. Right, so hopefully we'll catch up in a bit when I have something a bit bigger. See you soon. There he is, look. Lovely looking cruising carp, or cross goldfish, or whatever it is, but it looks like it's definitely got a lot of cruising in it. Loving life, isn't it, mate, eh?
Fucking lovely jubbly.
Sweet, slip her back, mate. Well guys, just had a lovely little mirror. Looks like a little crossbreed between a ghost carp and a mirror. Real ghosty looking from the surface. It's got a little pale belly. Just show you this one because it's the biggest mirror of the day so far. Nothing massive again. Again, it's just getting off the mark though, isn't it? Getting some confidence rolling through. I've got some big plans for this autumn. So going into it open-minded with confidence is definitely a massive edge. It's one thing I always do in my fishing. I never start off on a hard lake. Make sure things are still working, get some confidence behind me. And I've certainly done that today. I think I've had 10 fish maybe. I've showed the two biggest I've had. Plus my mate Scott had that beautiful looking common. So we get plenty of action. It's just lovely to get a good bend in the rod. And them end-time dumbbells I work in a tree. Plug them up. What I did, I actually soaked them, let them dry, and then glugged them, so they're nice and soft. And it seems to be doing the trick. The fish are going absolutely bonkers. And I'll show you what I'm using for hook bait shortly. I'm going to slip this one back, and they're still getting bigger, so you never know. We might get a 20 or a 30 on the bank. See you in a bit. Wow, would you look at that? Here's my old buddy, old pal, look. Biggest fish of the day.
Spot on.
Probably what, 12 pound? We haven't weighed it. That's a good fish. And it's probably about his second biggest carp. Lovely, perfect little condition common. Cracker, so it's the biggest of the day so far. We're going to slip her back, get the traps reset, because I've had a couple more little ones that I haven't shown, and hopefully we'll get something even bigger. See you in a bit. Well, the old wind's picking up now. Oh, savage line up. And the old wind's seriously picking up. You can hear it, look. That's all wind you can hear in the background there. Look how calm and sheltered we are here. We're extremely lucky on this part of the lake. Absolutely getting battered over there, look. Around here we're proper tucked up. So I've had a few more. I've had a couple of nice ghosties since I seen you last. And my mate Scott, another beautiful common, even bigger than the last. I think it's probably about 13-14 pound. Absolute stunning male fish. But I didn't get it on camera because the old battery's running low. I've still got a few bits to do on here yet. But I'm going to switch the camera off now. and then when I see you again, I'll show you the juicy little hook baits that we've had all these fish on. I cannot actually believe what I've just caught. I'm not even going to tell you, I'm just going to lift it. Check this out. This is definitely a first for me. A massive fantail goldfish. Probably 2.5 pound or so. Quality, eh? Look, proper little carpy goldfish. See if we can get the tail up. Big old fantail on it. Proper little crazy creature this. Turning into a bit of a crazy session. My mate's had a nice cruision. This is the second goldfish. The first one was black. He had the other black one. We've had some lovely looking carp. It's turning into a pretty spectacular summer's evening. Quality, eh? But I'm going to get it back and so it can live to fight another day. Get the traps reset and hopefully we'll get one of them big carp that we're here for. Who knows? Well guys, we're heading into early evening now. Probably got about 40 minutes left and the swim just went dead. In fact, both our swims went dead. Scott's pulled into, he's had a couple of little tench and another cruision carp, and then all of a sudden a double take. And I've got these two, which are not bad size considering there's a lot of fish in here. Haven't weighed them. I'm guessing somewhere in between the 8 or 9 pound. Probably just under double figure marks, but still great action on my first trip back. Great confidence, just great fun. So a lovely little kinked out mirror. Nice little character, thank you mate. And I've got this beautiful little fat common, very similar in size. Only about the 8 pound mark. And there, lovely nice little beautiful common. Perfectly proportioned, perfect mouths. Because this is not a match lake, so the carp are in pretty good condition in here. And most of the year they're just left to it. Pretty wild considering there's a lot of campers on here. You get a few people fishing, but not many at all. We're the only ones been on here today, so happy days. Right, I'm going to slip these absolute beauts back, and we'll have a catch up before we head off anyway. See you soon. Well guys, that's it for today's session. Been an absolute joy to get out and wet the old nets again. Had some lovely little fish, lots of little ghosties and a right old mixed bag as expected from here. There's a lot more smaller fish in here than I remember. Obviously it's been restocked, so that's clearly the reason why. I'm sure a lot of the big ones are in here, there's just a lot of mouths to get through. But we had some cracking fish. Scott had 2 fish over, I think he's about 11, 12 and a 13 and a 14, really nice fish. I didn't show the second one, it's my low battery, but an absolute beauty, real clean common. And I just thought I'd show you quickly all the hook baits that me and him have been using. So you guys who follow regularly, you know I usually fish some sort of particle with my bait, i.e. either hemp or some sort of particle, corn or maize or pellet. I use a lot of pellet as well. And that's to try and draw the fish down to the boilie, because once they eat the boilie I know that's good, but it's trying to get them to eat the boilie and binge on it in the time that I have on the bank. So I use other ingredients to draw them down much faster. But being we've got these new liquids on the go, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to have a go, and we've got these new dumbbells and they're perfect for catapulting out up to about 30-40 yards, well not even 40, sort of 20-30 yards to be honest. And so I glugged them up, well I washed them out, dried them, so they went a little bit softer, and then I glugged them and they really started taking all that glug in. I say glug, I glazed them heavily, and there's none of the glaze left, and I ended up with like a real oily dumbbell. I showed it on camera earlier, and we've just been catapulting pouches of that out, and we put a lot of bait in. I've been through, between us, not a lot, about 1.5 kilos of dumbbells, and we've just been fishing the enzyme and seeing what it can do on its own, and it's been non-stop action, and it's been crazy to be honest. I think I've probably had about 20 carp. Maybe, yeah, no, about the 20 pound, about 20 mark. And Scott's probably had good 6 or 7. His have been quite a bit bigger than mine, to be honest. And he's had great fun in the margin on the floater. And here's the hook baits we've been using. I don't know if you can see from there. See how close I can get. Right, I've got to go. Fish on. Right, as I was saying, I'll just finish off as I just quickly had that bite there. Clearly I've got the rod still out. Both are still on the spots rocking. Obviously we're edging into bite time. But the rods will be pulled in about 20 minutes. These are the, I'm sure I was somewhere at this point here. These are what we've been using all day. Enzyme wafters, and I've just glazed them a couple of days ago. And they've just sucked all the glaze in. And if you're thinking, oh, why are you glazing wafters? Well, it seems to be working. Yeah, you lose a little bit of buoyancy, but it's no different to your wafter being out in the lake for an hour or so, do you know what I mean? And I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of buoyancy off the wafters if it gives me that extra potency in taste and smell. And the carp have been loving them. And obviously these dumbbells, I've just been matching the hatch, no colours really. Done a bit of maize on the end of one for a little while, but mainly just the enzyme wafters, just fishing over dark enzyme bottom baits really. I've tried these as well. These are the Total Chaos, similar. These are heavily glugged. You can see them better from there. Dumbbells again, and that's just soaked into these and sort of dried as a crust around the boilie. Again, just extra attraction here. And these are all hard hookers, by the way. They're hard hookers, them ones there. And in here, my last pot, well, we've got enzyme bottom baits dumbbells, but these are the hard hooker forms, and the synchronise, which are really krilly and real shrimpy, and they've done nice. I've had a few on them today. So everything's gone well today, cleaned up, great fun. I'm going to leave it there because I must get packing up. I keep saying I'm going to pack up and then I have another bite. It's really starting to kick off. Scott's still waiting there, he's packed up. Well, he's got one rod still in, but he's packed away one. So we're going to head home, get some grub because we're absolutely starving. And when you see me back on the bank next time, which should be next week now, we'll be fishing for them big gals that we're after. Back on the bank for the big gals, that's what it's about, isn't it? Edging into big gal season. So yeah, buzzing. Thanks for watching. Make sure you keep following along, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.